Hey guys, MЛJOR here, back with more Black Ops Cold War content. And today, we're gonna be leaving the tactical rifle class and branching out. Before we get into it, this video should be coming out exactly one day after Christmas. And I hope that you enjoy the time with your family and forgot about how crazy the world is, just for a few short hours. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday. Now, let's get back to dominating lobbies with my loadouts. Here is another DMR loadout, and this time for the KSP 45. But before we start, if you're part of that 80% that watches my videos and is still not subscribed, well, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on, as I have more Black Ops Cold War content coming in the days ahead. Let's get into the video. As always, I want to make a habit of showing you guys my work. As of the making of this video, I have just a little over 1,000 confirmed kills with the KSP 45, double of what the sharpshooter badge requires. My crispy 45, you know what? That's what we're gonna call it from now on, the crispy. For the rest of the video, the KSP 45 is now the crispy. Like I was saying, my crispy 45, it's maxed out. Reaching those 55 levels earns me the marksman badge. And third, all camo challenges completed, reaching the expert badge. These three combined will earn you the rank of master for this specific weapon. These are not difficult by any means, but they ensure enough time to get to know the weapon to make an educated opinion, so I can bring you guys the best setup for your loadouts instead of clickbait. Without enough talk, let's get into the loadout. The KSP 45 fills the role of the Striker 45 with the hollow point rounds, but something that kept the Striker 45 in line back in Modern Warfare is the fact that when you added the hollow point rounds, you only had 12 rounds in the mag, yet the Crispy has 30 rounds, making it, in a sense, the little brother of both the M16 and the AUG. In today's video, we're going to have two loadouts. First will be the overall best setup. Second, my personal loadout. As always, there are three things that I look for in a DMR, and that is reliability, accuracy, and speed. But first, we're going to look at the base stats of this weapon. The Crispy has a damage profile of 50, 38, 35, making it a 3, 4, or 5 shot kill. The Crispy has a fire rate of 722 rounds per minute. However, this is within the burst. You will still get a burst delay of just 88 milliseconds. This burst delay is the shortest out of all the burst rifles, with the M16 being 260 milliseconds and the AUG being 220. This means that the time to kill is breakneck fast at 166 milliseconds. With that being said, this is the third fastest killing weapon in the game if we take out one-shots and snipers. The KSP 45 does have a headshot multiplier of 1.4, bringing the damage up to 70, 53, and 49. This means that you'll need at least 3 headshots to secure the kill. In other words, headshots on the Crispy are useless, unless you're an absolute god, and in the second damage range where the gun does 53 damage, you manage to get all 3 shots on the head, reducing the bullets it takes to kill from 4 to 3. The Crispy has a maximum effective damage range of 15.4 meters, dropping off to the second damage value at 25 meters. Going into our handling stats, our sprint to fire speed, or sprint out time, is 350 milliseconds, and our aim down sight time is 275 milliseconds. This handling stats make the Crispy 45 crazy fast in every way. This weapon is better than both the M16 and the AUG, with the only shortcoming being the range, the muzzle velocity, and the recoil. As always, mission dictates gear. The Crispy needs all the help it can get in the reliability department, as it's a 3, 4, or 5 shot kill. This amount of variation makes the gun extremely inconsistent. You never know when you're going to need 1 burst, 2 bursts, or maybe 3. So for our choice, we're going to be going with a 10.5 inch task force barrel, increasing our damage by 6%, from 50 all the way up to 53. This barrel will also increase our effective damage range by 50%, from 15.2 meters up to 22.8 meters. And finally, it will increase our bullet velocity by a massive 75%, from 200 meters per second up to 350 meters per second. This gun suffers from both a low effective damage range and horrible muzzle velocity. Adding a suppressor will make this into a hit marker machine. This barrel does come with a massive hit to both our vertical recoil and our horizontal recoil, but we'll get back to that later. Something I do want you to keep in mind is that this barrel doesn't reduce the amount of bullets it takes to kill. The damage boost doesn't even help with our second damage range. This gun is still a 3 or 4 or 5 shot kill. The reason for this barrel is for the effective damage range boost and the bullet velocity boost alone. Next up is accuracy. Taking a look at the KSP 45 base recoil pattern, As you can see, this gun has some of the worst recoil ever. However, do note that this is a standard range I measure recoil at, 30 meters. At 30 meters, the KSP, it's a water gun. Moreover, remember that our 10.5 inch task force barrel doesn't really help in that department. Taking a look at our current recoil pattern, as expected, it's even worse than before, and we're going to fix this with the field agent grip, reducing our horizontal recoil by 20%, taking a horizontal recoil variable from a massive negative 300 joules to a negative 240 joules. The agent field grip will also reduce our vertical recoil from 200 joules down to 188 joules. For those of you who don't know, recoil in Cold War works off an X and Y axis, with Y being vertical and X being horizontal. The higher the number on the Y axis, the more the gun will kick up. Meanwhile, on the X axis, if the number is negative, it will kick to the left, and if it's positive, it will kick to the right, with 0 meaning no horizontal recoil. For our next attachment, we're going to be going with a SOCOM eliminator, further reducing our vertical recoil by 17%. Taking our vertical recoil variable from 188 joules down to 154 joules. The SOCOM eliminator will also increase our horizontal recoil by 10%, from a negative 240 joules up to a negative 270 joules. The final thing the SOCOM eliminator will do is reduce our radar signature by 85%, allowing us to keep our position fluid, since we will be only popping up on the minimap for less than a second. And this is what our new recoil pattern looks like. Still a total mess, but it is tighter than where we started. Last on our list is speed, and as always, we'll be deploying our tag team solution for this. First up is the airborne elastic wrap, giving us a whopping 30% boost to our aim down sight time, from 275 milliseconds down to 192 milliseconds, for a massive 5-frame difference. It will also give us a 90% flinch resistance. This is irrelevant because Black Ops Cold War doesn't really have flinch. For our cons, we're going to take a hit to our shooting strafing speed by 10%, from 10.26 miles per hour down to 9.23 miles per hour. Also, we take another hit to our sprint to fire speed, from 350 milliseconds all the way up to 402 milliseconds. Sprint to fire is just as important as aim down sight time. Therefore, next on the list is the radar stock, bringing our sprint to fire back in line with a 30% boost from the previous 402 milliseconds down to 297 milliseconds, making us 6.5 frames faster than before. The radar pad will also come with an aim walking boost from 8.55 miles per hour up to 9.4 miles per hour, and a heavy hit to our hipfire spread by 30%. However, if you plan to hipfire this thing, you're gonna need a Christmas miracle. And this is what our final KSP 45 looks like. Look at it. Look at KSP go. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. But we're not done. It's time for me to give you my personal KSP 45 loadout. We're going to be borrowing both the airborne elastic wrap and the radar stock from our previous loadout to keep our superior handling stats of this already fast submachine gun. For our third attachment, we're also going to be changing out the field agent grip for the SFOD speed grip, as it offers a 15% boost to our horizontal recoil control and a 10% boost to our sprinting speed, allowing us to close the gap and get within our one burst range easier. Now for the barrels, we'll be switching from the 10.5 Task Force to the 10.2 rifle, losing out on half of the range when compared to the Task Force. This barrel will extend our base range from 15.2 meters to 19 meters, at the cost of half of the sprinting speed we just gained from the SFOD speed grip. For our last attachment is the muzzle brake. Even though it offers the least amount of recoil control at just 4%, it doesn't hurt our horizontal recoil like the other muzzle attachments do. And since we took out the 10.5 inch Task Force barrel, it pretty much evens out. What I have effectively done here is giving the KSP 45 more range without sacrificing its recoil. Added the muzzle brake for more vertical recoil control without losing out on the horizontal recoil. Then, with the SFOD speed grip, we get the sprint speed back that we lost when we added the 10.2 rifle barrel and became 5% faster on top of that. Finally, we're using the airborne elastic wrap and the radar stock to speed up both our aim down sight time and our sprint to fire speed at the cost of hipfire accuracy. In short, I made a faster handling, worse recoil M16 only for small maps. Taking a look at our new recoil pattern, Again, not the best, but it will have to do. And this is what my KSP 45 looks like, a cheaper Walmart value brand of the M16. Well, there you have it. As for my thoughts on this weapon, it looks amazing on paper, but in real time, The reality of this gun is that it's a 2-burst kill 90% of the time. Getting that 1-burst kill requires you to be at almost point blank range. And the recoil is absolutely horrible, meaning that landing all 3 shots is near impossible. However, this weapon does have one use for it, and that is in Nuketown, and possibly other smaller maps that Treyarch might release in the future. When you factor in the aim down sight time and the sprint out time and the burst delay, this gun actually kills faster than both the M16 and the AUG. And using it on a small map is the only possible use for it. Anything else outside of that, and the many shortcomings of this weapon start to shine, like its range, the horrible recoil, and the minute muzzle velocity. But now, it's time for me to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about the KSP 45? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this episode of the DMR Loadout series and want me to cover another weapon, leave your recommendation down in the comment section below. As of right now, I am currently working on the best setup for more alternative DMRs within Black Ops Cold War. So hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on to get notified when that video goes live. If you have any questions, hit me up on Twitch. My link will be down in the description below. A like rating is always appreciated. Also, check out the DMR Loadout. We have every tactical rifle from Black Ops Cold War and the majority of Modern Warfare. Well, that's all for me today. I'm Major Cade. Happy holidays, and I thank you for watching.